Let me start this video by posing this question to you. Why do you think Kenya still decided to invest 40 billion into the Treasury Bills market this week, despite Treasury Bills interest rates going down a week after the other, as you'll see in a few minutes? Otherwise, yeah, as you think about that, let's see what happened in the Treasury Bills market. For the three bills that were floated for this week. These were the results that were released today, that is the 3rd of April 2025. Let's see what transpired. So as usual, we had three treasury bills, that is the 91 days, the 182 days, and the 364 days. The government wanted to borrow 4 billion for the 91 days, but Kenyans were generous enough to give 11.15 billion, and that translates to a performance of 278%. For the 182 days, the government wanted to borrow 10 billion, but for this Kenyans were a bit skeptical, and they only gave 4.475 billion. That is a 44.75% achievement. For the 364 days, the government wanted to borrow 10B, but Kenyans gave 24.9 billion. That is a 249% achievement. So in total, the government intended to collect 24 billion from Kenyans that week, but they successfully collected about 40.547 billion. That is a 168% achievement, and that's why I asked the question about 40 billion. Let's get to the interesting part for the interest rates. So we have had a trend where interest rates has been going down a week after the other, and this week actually it is not an exception. We will see that the interest rates have gone down a bit. For the 91 days, the interest was at 8.6294% per annum. For the 182 days, the rate was at 9.035. That is a slight drop from 9.0583. For the 364 days, the rate was at 10.3865% per annum, a slight drop from 10.4117% the previous week. So the rates are still going down, though by a very small margin, but it is the small margin that will make us not realize when we are getting to the rates of 7%. But my question this evening is, why do you think investors are still going for treasury bills despite this kind of interest rates? You see, we are coming from an era where we used to have rates of between 16%, and now we are talking about 8%. So this means that the interest rates for the treasury bills, maybe where we were last year and where we are today, the rate has reduced by half. So that is from 16% down to 8%. But it's interesting that it's interesting that people are still sending their money to the government. That is in form of the short-term loans, because the government wanted to borrow 24 billion, but Kenya sent 40 billion. Doesn't the smaller the low interest rate scare away investors? But I want to bring this attention to you that whenever you think about investing and whenever you think about placing your money in any investment, never do that without considering your risk appetite, and take time to understand your risk. Take time to understand the level of risk that you can be able to accommodate. Usipeleke pesa pahali then the other day tunakuona huko ukiokota makaratasi just because the investment went wrong. So one of the reasons why I believe that investors are still willing to trade with the government, it is out of the low risk that comes with investment in government securities. So even if the rates are a bit low, I'm sure there are those investors who are, they want to secure their money faster before even thinking about the return. So that's why I believe that we still have people doing treasury bills, and we will continue having them even as rates goes down. And we can see that a majority of people are also running towards the 364 days. That is still at double digit. That is 10.3. So maybe they want security, but they still want a double digit interest rate, and that's why they are running for the 364 days that is currently at 10.3. So as I go out of this video, remember that anytime you think of getting into an investment, make sure that you consider your risk appetite and get to understand how much can I afford losing. If I lose this amount, what will happen to my life? So before then, don't get into any investment without doing your personal research and getting to understand who you are.